Good afternoon to all 39 of my YouTube subscribers. Hopefully it'll be more in the future, but for now that's where we're at. My name's Parker. I just wanted to do a quick review of a couple of suppressors from Northreach Manufacturing. I've got one of his Whisper Pickle 30 cal cans and his 9K. Both of them I bought with my own money, kind of thing. You know, Andrew, the owner, he's not paying me. He doesn't even know I'm making this video, but I'm sure he'll be happy to hear all the positive stuff I've got to say about them, because they're great suppressors and I've been thoroughly impressed. So I guess I kind of want to do just a little bit of a shoot them a little bit, show you kind of unsuppressed versus suppressed, throw them on a couple different guns, kind of talk about some of the pros and cons I've found with them. Really mostly all just pros though, to be completely honest with you. I've been pretty impressed with them. So I guess to tell you a little bit about them, we'll start off with the 30 cal suppressor. So this is the original 30 cal, about 8.5, 9 inches long, 1.25 inches in diameter, and it's honestly a great, just traditional style baffle stack suppressor. One of the things that I really like about Northreach Manufacturing suppressors is that they are modular, and you don't have all that stupid garbage with the proprietary mounts. You know, you can swap them out. So all of these suppressors are hub compatible. If you want to swap out your mount, I just run direct thread on all my suppressors. You can do QD boosters on his 9mm, all of that stuff. Same with the end caps. You can, you know, like this is a 30 cal suppressor, you can run a 5.56 end cap if you want. They use all the Silencer Co. Bravo mount type of stuff, threads, so you can put an anchor brake on his suppressors if you'd like. Super modular, so that's one of the things I like about him. This 30 cal Whisper Pickle here, he makes a long and a short K-can version that's about the same size as the 9mm can here. They're awesome. So I've shot this on everything from 5.56 up to 6.5 Creedmoor, 300 Blackout. You know, anything that fits through it, I've put through it, and I've been pretty impressed with how it handles all of that. This one here, Andrew has on his website, Andrew the owner. It's 20 ounces. My scale is saying 18.5, so take that as you will. It sounds great. I've been pretty impressed. They come in a few different colors, black. You can have the raw stainless like I've got on this 9K, FDE, ODG, all maybe more in the future, but those are what he's got on his website right now as far as the different colors. Great suppressors. So the 9K is the size of all of his other, at this point, K cans. It's 5.5 inches long. Kind of the same thing. It's hub compatible. You can swap out your direct thread mount with boosters, whatever you want. Same with the end cap. So, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. I've actually ran this 9K. They are rated for whatever you can put through them. So I have done 22 LR, 5.56, 6.5 Creedmoor, 300 Blackout. You know, you get the point. Anything that fits through it, it is rated for. It's even full auto rated. I think 150 rounds continuously. So they're awesome suppressors. And like I said, same boat, modular, hub compatible, all that good stuff. So we're going to do a little bit of shooting, kind of just suppressed, unsuppressed, side by side, kind of compare them and see, you know, what suppressor is right for you, I guess, if you're kind of in the market. I'm assuming that's why you clicked on this video, or you were just curious to hear about them. So we'll get into it then and kind of show you a little bit about them. All right, so first up, we're going to start off with the 6.5 Creedmoor. This personally has been one of the rifles that I've shot with this suppressor on that I've been the most impressed with. I don't know what it is about the design of that suppressor, but it just really tames 6.5 Creedmoor super well. This is the rifle I've been using for coyote hunting. It's got a 22-inch barrel. So we'll do a few shots here real quick, unsuppressed, just to give you kind of an idea of how it sounds. Then we'll throw that suppressor on and kind of do the same thing. So, like I said, we'll do 2 shots unsuppressed, and then we'll throw the suppressor on. Whisper Pickle on there now. We're going to to go ahead and do kind of the same thing, you know, 2 shots with the suppressor so you can hear how it sounds. And I apologize for the wind. Here in Idaho, it's always windy, so you kind of have to just deal with it. But so I'll do 2 shots with this suppressor, and then I'm actually going to go and throw the 9K on here. I do run the 9K suppressor on this rifle for hunting because it is a little bit lighter. This rifle is also a little bit heavy, and I have to do that in order to stay under the weight limit for hunting rifles here in Idaho. So we'll do that, and I'll show you kind of the setup with that when we do swap it over. So we'll do 2 shots with this suppressor. All right, so now we've got that 9K can on there. The awesome thing about these suppressors is where they're as modular as they are, you know, you can swap out mounts and do all that sort of stuff. So you're not stuck with just the typical 1/2x28 thread pitch that you get on 9mm suppressors. So we're going to go ahead and do kind of the same thing, just 2 shots here so you can hear how it sounds. And like I said, you know, you do give up a few things going with the smaller suppressor. Where this is a K-can and it's actually a 9mm suppressor, you know, all of those internal baffles, the bore diameter is bigger because it's meant for 9mm. So where it does quiet down just a little bit with the 30 cal end cap on it, it is a little bit loud. So I don't know if you noticed, but I wasn't wearing ear pro on those other couple of shots. You know, being a bolt gun with that suppressor, that longer one, it's really quiet. It is a little bit louder with this, and when I am using it hunting, you know, I don't wear ear pro because it does quiet it down enough, but I do want to protect my ears. I'm going to be doing a decent amount of shooting today, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in some ear pro real quick and give you a couple of shots with it so you can hear how it sounds. So still sounds great, and like I mentioned before, it is quite a bit lighter. So we'll give you 3. I've got a steel target set down here. So that's how it sounds. Like I said, I am actually very happy with them. I think it sounds pretty great. I'm sure that the video quality doesn't really do justice to the sound because I'm just using an iPhone camera right now. But you know, like I mentioned, it sounds great, especially the longer 30 cal suppressor on this 6.5. So we're going to go ahead and shoot a couple different guns. Like I said, I've got a 300 blackout. I've got 10.5 inch and a 16-inch AR that we'll shoot it on real quick. Give you guys kind of an idea of how those sound also. All right, so next up we're going to do some 300 blackout. I think this is where the 30 cal suppressor really shines. It sounds awesome. So here's what we're going to do first is we're going to do 2 shots unsuppressed supersonic. It's just 150 grain ammo ink supers. I don't have a ton of supers, so we're just going to shoot cheap ones today. So we'll do 2 rounds of that, and then 2 rounds of some S&B 200 grain subs. Then we'll throw the suppressor on and do the same thing, the 2 and 2. That way you guys can get kind of an idea of how it sounds. So we'll start off though with the unsuppressed. Like I said, we'll do 2 shots and then 2 shots. And then these are the subs. Then we'll go ahead and throw that suppressor on and do kind of the same thing. All right, so we've got the suppressor on. We're going to do the same thing now. 2 shots of supersonic and then 2 shots of subs. And I apologize again for the wind. It's starting to pick up, so it's probably just going to get worse as this video goes on, but bear with me. right, so next up we're gonna go with some 5.56. So this is a 16-inch barrel. We'll kind of do the same thing as before, a couple shots unsuppressed. We'll stop and throw the can on there and do the same thing. So starting off though, let's do a couple unsuppressed. I don't even remember what ammo this is. I know it's just some bulk 55 grain 5.56, but anyways, here goes. This gun is gassed to run with a suppressor, so it's probably not going to cycle super well without it. Yeah, it definitely likes having a suppressor on there, so we'll go ahead and throw that on there real quick, and we'll be right back. All right, so we've got the Whisper Pickle 30 cal can on there. This is the one that this gun is gassed to run with, so it should be a little bit better for us. And then after I shoot a few rounds through here, I'll swap over to the 9K. I've got a 30 cal end cap on that right now. I'll give you a few shots to that so you can hear kind of how that sounds. It sounds good still. It is a little bit louder, you know, it is a K can, it is an overbore diameter. But yeah, let's go ahead and give it a couple here. Sounds great. I love this. This is actually my coyote gun. I do run it with a thermal and a daytime scope on there, and it does awesome. So I have no complaints. I really actually like this suppressor. This is one of my favorite setups right here. So we'll go ahead and we'll get that 9K swapped over onto here so you can hear how that sounds, and then we'll swap over to the 10.5-inch 5.56. All right, so we've got the 9K on here with the 30 cal end cap. Same thing, we'll just do a couple rounds. See how it sounds. Not bad. You know, I don't know if you noticed, I don't have ears in for that. It is manageable. It's definitely a pretty sharp sound though, nowhere near as loud as unsuppressed obviously, but comparison between the 9mm K can with the 30 cal end cap and the long 30 cal, that long 30 cal is significantly quieter. So I mean this isn't bad. It sounds about like an unsuppressed 22, so still great performance from a small suppressor. So we're going to swap over now to the 10.5-inch, run these same suppressors on it and give you kind of an idea of how those two sound. All right, so here's my 10.5-inch. We'll do 2 rounds unsuppressed, same thing, swap over the long 30 cal and then the 9mm can. 10.5 is kind of a beast to suppress, so I think you'll be as equally as pleased as I was to see how those other cans sound. So let me swap it over real quick and we'll be right back. All right, so we've got the 30 cal long Whisper Pickle on here. I'll do a couple rounds here, and I actually have used this same setup right here for some low light shoots. The range here in town puts on shoots every Thursday, and so I've actually gotten to go and run this under night vision. I think I've got some footage I'll add in here afterwards of that, but this suppressor does a great job with flash reduction, especially for this short of a barrel, which you'll be able to see that in that footage. But anyways, here goes, and then we'll swap over to the 9K. All right, so now we've got the 9K on here. This is actually how I currently have been running this 10.5 inches with this 9K 30 cal end cap on it. It still sounds awesome. You know, it is a K can. It's going to be a little bit louder than a full-size suppressor, but it does tame this down really well. So I do shoot this quite a bit with this suppressor on here, low light, all of that stuff. That being said, you know, it sounds great, a little bit louder. It does have a bit more of a flash out the end of the can. You know, it is a 9mm suppressor that is quite a bit bigger than 223-556, so obviously that's to be expected even with the 30 cal end cap. I have not yet been able to try this out with a 556 end cap, but I imagine that'll help a little bit as far as that flash is concerned. So we'll go ahead and do kind of the same thing. I'll just finish off my mag here. You can see how this one sounds and looks. Let me go grab some more ammo. All right, I apologize for that. I can't count, so I want to grab another couple rounds real quick. We'll finish her off here. So, sounds good. You know, I do like it because of the size. There are a couple of guys that come and do these shoots with me that do run the actual 30 cal version of this suppressor, the 30K, and they are a little bit quieter, especially on a 10.5. When you get into the longer barrels, it's not too much different. So if you're kind of on the fence between the K-Can or the long version of it, I would say it kind of depends a little bit what you're going for. If you're more worried about size, this suppressor still performs great. It sounds great, helps keep kind of a shorter setup. If you're going more for sound, I would recommend that longer 30 cal suppressor. Does great with flash and all of that stuff too. So anyways, I'm sure a couple of you guys are here wondering about the 9K too and how that does on 9mm. So let me go and get that all set up on my Kuna, and we'll run some subs and supers for that, so you can see how that sounds. So we'll be right back. All right, so we got the Springfield Kuna here. We're gonna do kind of the same thing as before. You know, we'll do a couple shots, subs and supers unsuppressed. We'll do 2 of each, and then we'll swap over, put the can on, and let you see kind of how that sounds. So. And then we'll do 2 subs. I'll be completely honest, they sound about the same unsuppressed. We'll throw that suppressor on there. All right, we got that suppressor on there. We'll do 2 or 3 supers, and then we'll do some subs so you can hear how those sound. This combination right here sounds great with subs. I love it. This is actually my current night vision setup. We'll give you a couple of those. So there were 3 supers, and then now we're into the subs. So I got a steel target down there that we'll see if we can get a few rounds off without knocking it over. Overall, I think this suppressor sounds great. I have had a chance to use it on a 16-inch AR9, and it sounds even better with supers on that, because longer barrel, you know, gives a little bit more time for powder to burn off and be a bit quieter. But yeah, anyways, I hope that's helpful for a couple of you guys that are looking to do a little bit of research into these suppressors. I think Northridge Manufacturing makes some really good cans, and not only that, they're very competitively priced. I know when I first got to hear how that 30 cal can sounded when the owner brought and the wind is not our friend today. We'll get this put back up here a little bit so it doesn't do that anymore. There. Anyways, like I was saying, I got to hear how the 30 cal, the original can, sounded when they first started being made, and I was blown away by how inexpensive they were selling them for. So I guess that's one thing we can touch on real quick. If you are looking into these, as of the time of making this video, they're going for about $475 for the long 30 cal suppressor, and then I believe all of his K-can lengths are right around $450. So I think that once the beginning of January, once the $200 stamp extortion fee goes away, that they're going to start selling very, very quickly. So anyways, that's kind of my review a little bit. Like I said, I do have some other footage from some shoot competitions I've done where I've ran these suppressors, and I'll make sure to kind of add that video in here as well if I haven't already here at this point in the video. But they're great sounding suppressors. Like I said, they're very competitively priced, and I've gotten to work with Andrew, the owner, a little bit. He's awesome. They have a really good warranty. I actually did end up having to warranty this due to something of my own fault. And Andrew was great. Turnaround time is super, super fast. Like I said, I do have the privilege of being about a 10-minute drive away from their shop. So it took me about a whopping an hour and a half to get this thing to work. But he does great work, and he's got some exciting stuff he's kind of been working on and should be coming out with here soon. So like, I'm always a fan of supporting small businesses. So if you're kind of on the fence, just needing that final little push, hopefully this video is enough to kind of do that for you. So I'll try and do a little bit more in depth on each of these suppressors. I'm hopefully picking up one of his micro PO22s here soon also that I can do a video on. But anyways, like I said, great suppressors. I'm very impressed with them. So hopefully if you get the chance to pick one of these up, you do, and you can support Andrew and North Reach Manufacturing. So I guess if there's any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I try to be good about responding to comments. I've only got 39 subscribers right now, so there haven't been too many comments, but hopefully that changes. If there's any questions or anything that you'd like to see in future videos, feel free to comment up there, and I'll make sure to see them. So with that, thanks for watching, and hopefully you got what you were looking for. So thank you. What it is, it's good. Yeah. It's like a light. Ones